Brodes Media.
I've been waiting for this moment for what feels like 10 years. This regular season was a drag. We finally get to the juiciest part of the season. It'll be at home Wednesday night against the Miami Heat for a chance to face the New York Knicks in the first round, and I'm stoked. I can't wait! I can't wait. Now, I am nervous about Joel Embiid's status, because there's no way that I'm ever going to believe the Sixers in regards to any sort of health updates and injury updates, especially when it's Joel Embiid. I don't want to hear for one damn second that the Brooklyn Nets are such a beatable bunch that it made sense to sit Embiid. No way did it make sense at all. They said they were being precautionary. Well, then I will counter with, what are you being precautionary about? We all watched the game against Orlando. We saw him land on his knee. We watched him hobble his way back to the locker room. And even though he returned, for him to not play in the final game with the chance to maybe escape the play-in tournament, there's something there. Now, he's going to be on the floor Wednesday, okay? This won't hold him back from being on the floor, but are you getting maybe a 70% Joel Embiid instead of an 85% Joel Embiid? He'll never be 100%, but prior to the Orlando game, if you thought maybe he was at 85, factoring in health and factoring in conditioning and just comfort level, now it might be 70. Now it might be 75. I still believe that the Sixers should have enough to go against Miami Heat, but the Heat culture normally is in a different tier this time of the year, and I give Nick Nurse the advantage against every single coach in the NBA except for Eric Spoelstra. So if they turn on the Jets and become the playoff Jimmy, the playoff Miami squad, then because if you lose on Wednesday and then you face the winner of the following play-in squads, guess what? You're seeing the Boston Celtics in round one if you win the second game, which would be a very scary first-round matchup. I don't want to deal with them at all. Give me the Knicks. Give me Jalen Brunson. Give me DiVincenzo. That'll be a fun one. I think they're a fun little squad. I believe, as great as Jalen Brunson has been, that Joel Embiid is still a better player than him. And when you have the best player on the floor in the series, more times than not, you are coming out victorious. And poor Doc Rivers, huh? The guy's a damn loser. Of course, he hurts the Sixers once again. He just doesn't know how to succeed for this franchise no matter what. Was it too much to ask to not land in a three-way tie between Orlando, Indiana, and us? Like, come on! A three-way damn tie. And then he had to deal with the tiebreakers and the division and this and that. Whatever. It is what it is. Because you lost Joel Embiid for so long, you sort of got backed into a corner. And this is reality of it, but just as much as we are trying to run away from the Celtics, and if you put your hand up and pretend like you're not, well, then you're just asinine. I won't lie. I don't want to see the Celtics at all. If there was a world where you don't face them in the first two rounds, someone knocks off Boston in the second round, so then the Eastern Conference Finals, if we finally get over the hump, happens to be a team that doesn't have Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, then sign me the hell up for it. I want to escape them any way humanly possible. And the reason why I bring that up is the way I feel about the Celtics, I do believe that there are teams out there that did not want to face the Sixers early on. I mean, outside of the Celtics, the biggest team next, I think, would be the Sixers because of Joel. Maybe the New York Knicks are right up there as an overall team, but I think the Sixers have the scarier overall player. The Knicks, maybe because, and they dealt with some injuries too throughout the season, and Julius Randle, who has held them back in years past, very toxic relationship with the Knicks fans as it is. I don't know if it's as much of an impact Shaq not having that body because they figured it out as a team, and Jalen Brunson really stepped up and became a star. But I think maybe the Knicks as an overall team has gelled longer, so there is respect in that regard. But Joel is Joel, and he can give you 70, even though Brunson has put up 30, plus 40, plus, he's no joke. He can score at will. Joel Embiid is still the most skilled player in all of the league. And I've watched teams look at that second seed, look at some other seeds, and I don't want to see the Sixers. No way, I don't want to see the Sixers at all. So just note, when you're looking for some positivity, for some optimism with this team, just know that there are others that are way above them in the standings that want nothing to do with you the way we want nothing to do with the Celtics. I do think there's value in that. And one of the big reasons why I'm excited as hell is because of Tyrese Maxey. This dude is going to give us something that James Harden never did. And while James Harden was solid passing the basketball and getting his team going, and, was one extreme compared to the other, meaning when he goes 1 for 15 from the field and the whole team got the life sucked out of him because that guy was a clown and a fraud. Well, okay, I don't think Tyrese Maxey has that level of bringing the rest of the team down. James Harden, when he went into that lackadaisical mode, and the thing is, Harden can also give you 40. We saw that. He can give you 40 and be insane and win a game for you, and then he could also be so damn inefficient and so brutal and unwilling to compete and turning the ball over at half court and then being lazy and not willing to fight his ass off to get back to try and block somebody at the backboard or make any sort of impact after he made a mistake. And that drains your team out because, come on, we're getting this version of James. The moment you get 6 or 7 minutes into a game, you could tell if you're on the bench, all right, well, it's one of those nights for James Harden. You won't have that out of Maxey. This kid is just an energizer bunny, and he might shoot 1 for 12 or something like that. He might have a bad game. I don't know if it'll exactly be 1 for 12 or something so brutally inefficient, and then he'd probably go utilize his speed, attack the rim, get some easy buckets, easy layups. But my point is, even if he's having an off night shooting, I don't think it takes away from the morale of the team as a primary ball handler. And I think he learned a ton on how to operate in fourth quarters without Embiid on the floor. And with Embiid on the floor, obviously everything's going to open up because I'd imagine whoever's on the other sidelines are saying, yeah, anybody but Joel Embiid can beat us. So if he's getting the ball in the post, make sure you send pressure. Hey, we can maybe switch some things up and apply a second guy coming to double team from the baseline. We can go over the top. There's so many different things to do to try and force the ball out of his hands. So if he was able to cook in the fourth without Embiid and the emphasis being on Embiid, it's only going to get that much easier, and there's going to be that much more space for you because everyone's going to be afraid of the big man maybe showing off his Akeem Olajuwon footwork. And keep in mind, he can also pass the ball beautifully too. It wasn't too long ago that we watched him at around the elbow, back his way, play bully ball, and the second he saw something wide open in the far corner, he zips it beautifully like he's Brett Favre in his prime, right into the breadbasket of Kelly Oubre, and it's a catch-and-shoot 3. And Oubre's been on fire. There's no doubt about it that we need him to be excellent. But look, I'm feeling good about this team. There's no reason not to. I say this all the time when I try and preach optimism. And am I going to tell you that their chances of winning a championship is insanely high? It's probably higher than you would like to admit if you're one of those wake me up when they get out of the second round people. But no, they're not in the position of the Boston Celtics. They're not in the position of what Steph Curry was with Klay Thompson and Kevin Durant, where you knew you could write the Golden State Warriors into the NBA Finals and they were going to be the team to take down. No, by no means is it that, but it's definitely solid. Like, who scares you outside of Boston?